Bloody Murder is one of those films that deserves its own special place in hell. Now, while I'm aware of all the other Friday the 13th rip-outs out there, this one in particular left a bad taste in my mouth after seeing it in my youth. I went back to this with a different mindset, forgetting the reasons I hated this film so much. But after the first 5 minutes, I suddenly remembered why. This is Trevor Morehouse, the star of the Bloody Murder films. Gee, I wonder where they drew the inspiration from. You're probably thinking Jason Voorhees, but I was thinking more Jackson. Now, like most horror films from the early 2000s, this one suffers from something I like to call Dawson's Creek syndrome, which is where a large chunk of the film is comprised of crappy teenage romance that gives the impression you're watching CW, albeit more shitty, or any film made around that time where I Don't Want to Wait is played. And for those of you Johns who remember those times, you're probably conceived around the time the OC was relevant. The film was directed by Rafi Portillo, who's apparently still getting work, and stars early appearances from Patrick Kavanaugh, Jessica Morris, and Justin Ross Martin, who we all know were never heard from again unless you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., One Life to Live, or Lady of Steel. But who does that? The film opens to a couple who run out of gas while driving through what I'm guessing is Camp Crystal Lake, which means Biller has to go find help. But this is a slasher film, so an opening kill is mandatory.
Trevor Morehouse.
Really? A chainsaw. So not only is the killer unoriginal, but so is his weapon. And what kind of name is Trevor? Who would be afraid of a guy that sounds like he works at Hot Topic on the weekends, but also doubles as an extra on a porno? We didn't meet the new camp counselors on the way to Camp Placid Pines. They talk about typical teenage bullshit until they eventually arrive and meet their boss for the summer, Patrick, who then proceeds to give them names.
Dean, Whitney, Jason, Julie, and Toby.
Great. Now they're real characters. But we get our first signs of DCS when it's discovered Jason and Brad have bad blood.
Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah, maybe it isn't.
Does somebody want to fill me in here?
Jason and I used to run track against each other at school. Last time we ran for qualifications, he broke his knee 10 yards from the finish line.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't recall that was the last time you raced.
I could be watching Steven Universe right now. Wait, where have I seen that mask before?
I'm gonna take a piss. If you don't have that glove by the time I get back, I'm leaving without you. Yeah.
So far, we've got Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre tagged to the list of better films I could be watching right now. While setting up equipment, we learn a little bit about Whitney.
There, Whit.
Dean, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you. What's the matter?
Whitney doesn't know how to swim.
No way.
Wonder if that will come into play later. Then we get a new character by the name of Drew. She and Julie become head counselors, so they go for a walk to get better acquainted. But Drew clearly has better places to be, so she leaves Julie alone. But she's fine. See, she's got Lloyd Kaufman here to keep her company. This is Henry, the camp's groundskeeper. His jobs include giving our lead ominous clues and doing his best Crazy Ralph impression. We should all strive to be more like Henry. Oh my god, it's Casey Jones, and he's gone rogue. It turns out to be her boyfriend Jason, who invites her to some booze by the campfire and a game of bloody murder. Wait, so now we got Jason playing Jason? What's next? The revelation that the show is really just a parody on internet reviews? It all leads to Brad getting pranked by Mrs. Voorhees' least favorite son. After that suspenseful scene, everyone goes off and we see Jason is enjoying the perks of summer camp. Wait, but Jason's with Julie. How dare that bastard cheat on Julie? This kicks the DCS up to a whole new level. But then some unseen character enters the frame. Well, at least he was nice enough to let him finish. Normally Jason's the one getting the blue balls. The following day, the camp becomes aware of Jason's disappearance, but they decide to put it on the back burner for now. Next, we see Dean and Whitney go out on the lake, and we get this fake out where we're supposed to believe Dean is the killer after he knocks into the water. And is it me, or does Dean look a hell of a lot like Bruce Campbell? But things finally come to a head when during movie night, Whitney goes to the pantry and gets off screen to death.
Very funny. Now take off your mask and show yourself.
So not only is this film a ripoff, but it's heavily butchered like the series is trying to be. The sheriff is called after Whitney's disappearance, so they question some of the counselors.
You see, the VCR we were using is kind of a piece of shit, and... Can I say that to a cop? But anyways, I sat next to it just in case the film got caught, and Dean was sitting a couple chairs behind me. The movie was Sleepover Camp Massacre 14. It's a summer camp slasher movie. It has a running time of an hour and 43 minutes, which is relatively long for movies in this genre.
Wait, Sleepover Camp Massacre 14? This movie isn't even trying anymore. Dean is marked as a suspect due to his shenanigans from earlier and gets taken to the station, which is clearly the time to celebrate as we see Julie partake in Adele's lettuce. Henry returns, but this time with a message, telling Julie to look into a person named Nelson Hammond. But while this is happening, Brad goes out to the archery range and gets killed. Oh, come on. He had a bright future. He was gonna become the cinema snob. Seeing that another murder was committed, Dean gets released, and suspicion now falls on Jason, who it turns out didn't die. Turns out his sexcapades were discovered by Dean, prompting him to run off. Cause, you know, that's a normal reaction to have when someone catches you cheating on your girlfriend. So not only is there a character named Jason, but he's also suspected to be the killer. This movie has no restraint. Patrick agrees to help Julie look for this elusive Nelson Hammond, but she soon finds herself being stalked by the lamest slasher villain ever. This guy would never unlock the stealth camo in MGS3. She manages to make it to the road, where she runs into Dean, who's on his way to the set of Camp Blood being filmed one camp over. But those dreams are cut short when he's killed with a gardening tool.
Oh, by the way, I saw your boyfriend slam-tackling my ex-girlfriend by the lake the other night.
Julie finds Henry's home, which looks like Jason's love shack from part 2. She finds a picture of her father during his camp days and an aforementioned Nelson Hammond, and also learns Drew's father was named Bill Anderson. Later that night, Jason returns to try to patch things up with Julie, but she actually does something smart and locks him in the freezer and calls the cops. And everything went back to normal. I wish that were the end. The killer starts trolling Julie, then that son of a bitch kills Doug. Doug Funny didn't ask to be in this movie. Great. Now who's gonna feed pork chop and understand this 90s reference? Julie does some digging and deduces that her father, Bill Anderson, and Nelson Hammond all went to camp together, and a botched game of bloody murder almost killed Nelson, prompting him to be sent to a mental institution, where he escaped years later to kill Drew's father.
No. It was Drew.
This movie is about as suspenseful as Truth or Dare. Julie's dad shows up and gets a tour from Drew, before getting knocked out leading to this.
Turn around.
Where's my dad?
Turn around.
I'm not turning around until you tell me where my father is. Look!
Julie manages to escape and runs into Patrick, who is revealed to be Nelson Hammond, the actual killer.
You're Nelson Hammond.
Oh, very good. You kids today, you think your computers and your telephones and your email can keep you safe in the woods? Well, let this be a lesson to you, Julie. Email can be intercepted.
What a twist!
Say bye-bye.
Oh, come on. You couldn't even make the dummies look convincing? Why was this movie even made? Oh, right. Julie's father comes to her aid and she escapes. But Nelson finds an axe and Julie gets away from him again? Is it too late to mention that it took me 4 days to get through this movie? But it all comes to an end when Drew, who apparently found a gun somewhere, shoots Nelson in the arm, sending him on a first-class trip to super jail. In the film's conclusion, Julie breaks up with Jason and chooses Toby. After refusing a ride, Jason realizes he signed his death certificate as the real Trevor Morehouse appears, bringing the film to an end. And there you have Bloody Murder, a boring blatant ripoff that constantly reminds you of better films you could be watching. And worst of all, that bastard killed Doug. Doug Funny didn't ask for any of this, damn it. No wonder this film fell into obscurity, and no one remembers it. Thank God there weren't any sequels.